Sometimes life punishes you in ways you never expect, not with storms or noise, but with silence, with the empty space left by someone who used to care for you without asking for anything back. Most people don't realize the value of that kind of heart until it's gone. And the deepest pain a woman ever feels isn't when a man leaves too soon. It's when she wakes up one day and understands she pushed away a good man, and now he is gone for good. Not angry, not begging, not proving anything, just gone. And she realizes too late that no apology can bring him back. A good man leaves quietly. That's the part that hurts the most. He doesn't throw words like weapons. He doesn't fight for attention. He doesn't show you what you lost through loud behavior. He just steps back slowly, almost like he doesn't want to disturb your life. And that small step becomes the moment everything changes for her, because the pain of losing a good man is not sudden. It grows like a shadow, slow and steady, until one day it covers everything. And if you talk to women who have lived long enough, who have made mistakes and learned the hard way, they'll tell you the same thing. The biggest regrets are the men they didn't value when they had them. Not the men who hurt them, not the ones who lied, but the ones who loved them deeply, quietly, honestly. This story begins like that, with a simple truth. A woman always realizes the value of a good man too late, and when she does, something inside her shifts. She starts replaying memories she once ignored. She starts seeing the things he did that she never thanked him for. She starts remembering the kind of calm he brought to her life without her noticing. She starts feeling the weight of her own actions, her own silence, her own ego. And that realization doesn't come like a soft breeze. It hits like a heavy wave. In the beginning, she thinks she's the one in control. She thinks he will always be there, waiting, adjusting, trying harder, loving her even when she gives little back. Women don't expect good men to leave. They think kindness means softness forever. They think patience means he will tolerate everything. They think love means he will never walk away. But love has limits, even in a good man's heart. At first, she doesn't notice he's slipping away. Good men don't slam doors. They close them gently. He stops explaining himself because he knows she's not listening. He stops asking about her day because he knows she won't ask about his. He stops trying to fix things because he finally understands he's the only one trying. And slowly, the space between them gets wider. She might feel something is different, but she brushes it off. She assumes it's just a phase. She assumes he's just tired. She assumes he will bounce back because he always has. But what she doesn't know is that a good man doesn't leave when he stops loving. He leaves when he stops feeling safe, when he stops feeling valued, when he realizes he's giving his heart to someone who doesn't see its worth. And that moment, the one where he quietly lets go, becomes the turning point of her life. Days pass, maybe weeks, and she begins to sense something she never felt before: the absence of his energy, the silence of his care, the missing presence of the one person who never asked for anything but gave everything. She looks at her phone and realizes there's no message from him. She checks her notifications and sees nothing with his name. She scrolls through old chats and feels something heavy in her chest. In the early stages, she tries to pretend she doesn't care. She convinces herself she's fine. She distracts herself. She goes out. She posts pictures. She laughs louder. She does everything to win her own ego's approval, not her heart's peace. But inside, something is shaking. Something she can't name, but she feels it. It's the beginning of regret. When you lose a good man, the first thing you feel is confusion. Not because he left suddenly, but because you never imagined he could. His silence becomes a teacher. His distance becomes a mirror. His absence becomes a truth she didn't want to face. She starts remembering the moments she ignored him, the texts she took hours to reply to, the times he tried to talk about something meaningful and she brushed it off, the times he asked how she felt and she gave cold answers, the days he needed support and she wasn't there. And when she remembers these things, she doesn't see him as weak anymore. She sees herself as careless. Regret begins softly, but guilt hits harder. She starts asking herself questions she never asked before. Why did he stop trying? Why did he stop caring? Why does it feel like he disappeared? Why doesn't he chase anymore? And when she finally opens her eyes, she realizes something painful. He didn't give up on her. She gave up on him first. Him. A good man doesn't leave because he wants to. He leaves because he has to. Because staying hurts more than walking away. Because giving love to someone who doesn't water it slowly kills him inside. Because loyalty without respect is a prison, and good men don't stay in prisons. She begins to look back, and now every tiny detail feels sharp. His kindness feels louder, his patience feels bigger, his effort feels heavier. All the things she once ignored now sit like a heavy stone in her chest. Because she knows she didn't appreciate him the way he deserved, and that is a heavy feeling for any woman to carry. But the real pain begins later. It begins when she sees him healing without her. When she sees him living without needing her, when she sees him becoming better, stronger, calmer, wiser, when she sees him giving someone else the kind of love she once took for granted, that part breaks something inside her. Because deep down, a woman knows when she had a man who was rare. Not rare because he was perfect, rare because he was real, rare because he was loyal, rare because he was steady in a world full of shaky people, rare because his heart wasn't built on conditions, rare because he stayed even when he had reasons to leave, rare because he cared even when she didn't ask him to. And the painful truth is that she realizes all this only when the door has closed. A good man doesn't leave to teach her a lesson. He leaves to protect his soul. But in doing so, he becomes the greatest lesson she never wanted to learn. She sees him as the person she should have held tighter, the one she should have trusted, the one she should have loved better. She begins to search for him in other people, in new faces, in new conversations, in new moments. But she can't find him because men like him don't repeat. They don't grow on trees, they don't follow trends, they don't play games, they don't show up twice in a lifetime. That's the pain of losing a good man. It hits slow and then all at once. And when she finally admits it to herself, she realizes something even deeper. She didn't just lose a man, she lost her peace. She lost her mirror. She lost the person who saw her heart even when she showed her worst. She lost the person who never tried to change her, just tried to love her. And now that love belongs to the world without her. She tries to reach out one day. Maybe she sends a message. Maybe she tries to call. Maybe she drops a hint online. Not because she expects him to return, but because she wants to feel like she still has some part of him. But his reply, if he even sends one, is gentle but distant, kind but cold, warm but closed. And that's when she realizes the truth. She didn't just lose him, she lost access to him. She lost the version of him that loved her. She lost the man she thought would never leave, and life becomes very quiet after that. The truth always shows itself in the quiet moments, not when she's busy, not when she's surrounded by noise, but in those still hours when the world slows down and her mind finally stops pretending. That's when she feels the loss the most. It comes like a soft ache at first, then it grows into something that sits deep inside her chest. And no matter what she tries, she can't shake it off, because the pain of losing a good man doesn't leave easily. It stays, it settles, it teaches. In those quiet moments, she realizes something she never wanted to admit. She had someone who carried her without complaining, someone who stayed even when she pushed him away, someone who listened even when she didn't speak kindly, someone who showed up when everyone else disappeared. And she didn't appreciate him. Maybe she didn't mean to hurt him. Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she was scared. But the truth doesn't change. She lost him, and losing a good man is not something the heart forgets. There is a strange thing that happens to women after they lose a man who was good to them. Their standards change, not because they want to be picky, but because they know what real love is supposed to feel like now. They know what effort looks like. They know what honesty sounds like. They know what calm feels like. They know what it means when someone genuinely cares. And suddenly, every new man they meet feels too loud, too selfish, too empty, too complicated, too everything. She compares without wanting to compare. She remembers without wanting to remember. She searches without wanting to search. She realizes how safe she felt around him, how easy it was to talk to him, how he listened without judging, how he loved without trying to control, how he protected without taking away her freedom. And when she tries to find that again, she discovers the world doesn't have many men like him. That's when the pain gets sharper. She begins wishing she could go back. Not to change him, but to change herself, to listen more, to care more, to show up better. She wishes she could take back the moments she acted cold, the moments she acted distant, the moments she acted like he didn't matter, because now she knows how much he did. A woman can pretend she's fine. She can look strong online. She can laugh with her friends. She can post pictures. She can tell everyone she moved on, but her heart always knows the truth before her mind does. And the truth is simple. She lost someone who saw her soul, and losing that kind of man leaves a crack inside her that never fully closes. Even if she loves someone else later, that memory stays. Not because she wants it to, but because it shaped her. It taught her what love should look like. It showed her what loyalty means. It showed her what patience feels like. And it showed her that the world doesn't give second chances for carelessness. Some women don't feel the loss until they see him again. Maybe months have passed, maybe even years, and then she sees him, but he's different. He looks stronger, more grounded, more peaceful. His eyes don't hold the same hurt. His voice doesn't shake anymore. He doesn't wait for her reactions. He doesn't walk around her feelings. He doesn't show the softness he once had for her. And that's when she feels something break quietly inside her. She realizes the man standing before her isn't the man who loved her. He's the man who survived her. And that moment hurts more than anything. When she tries to reconnect, she finds he doesn't respond the way he used to. He answers politely but not warmly. He listens but doesn't open up. He smiles but doesn't stay. She feels like a stranger in a place where she once felt at home. And that's the real punishment life gives when you don't value a good man. You don't just lose the relationship, you lose the version of him that loved you. And you can never get that version back. Some women try to win him back after realizing what they lost, but they don't understand that a good man doesn't return to the same pain twice. Once his heart shuts a door, it doesn't reopen out of weakness. He closes it because he grew, not because he hates her. He closes it because he learned self-respect, and that is something he won't trade again. And even if she says she's changed, even if she tries to show effort, even if she apologizes, she can feel his distance like a wall she can't climb. It's not because he wants to punish her. It's because he no longer feels safe giving her the same access to his heart. She once treated it carelessly, and he remembers the weight of that feeling. He remembers the nights he wondered what he was doing wrong. He remembers the tightness in his chest when she ignored him. He remembers giving everything he could and still feeling alone. A good man doesn't hold grudges, but he does remember lessons. And the biggest lesson he learns is this: love means nothing if it destroys your peace. So he protects himself now. He guards the parts of him he once gave freely. He gives his time only to people who value it. He gives his love only to someone who understands its weight. He becomes more selective, more patient, more aware of red flags he once ignored. And while he grows, she breaks. She sees her own patterns clearly for the first time. She sees that she pushed away the one person who would have done anything for her. She sees that she cared more about ego than connection. She sees that she ran from someone who only wanted to love her right. And those realizations come with a kind of shame that doesn't fade quickly. Women often say, I miss him, but what they really mean is, I missed who I was when he loved me, because a good man doesn't just make your life better. He makes you better. He makes you feel safe enough to be soft. He makes you feel seen without pretending. He makes you feel calm in a world that keeps demanding noise. And when that is gone, the world feels colder. She might try to distract herself with someone new. She might try to fill the hole left behind, but she soon learns that replacing a good man is not possible. Other men might give her attention. They might give her excitement. They might give her temporary fun, but they don't give her the same heartbeat. They don't give her the same safety. They don't give her the same loyalty. They don't give her the same feeling of being understood. And that difference eats at her slowly. Then one day she realizes something painful. She didn't just lose a man, she lost a future that could have been stable, loving, peaceful, honest, real. A future with a man who knew how to stand firm, a man who knew how to listen, a man who didn't run at the first sign of difficulty, a man who wanted to grow with her, not away from her, a man who saw her heart even when she hid it behind walls. She realizes she didn't lose him because she wasn't good enough. She lost him because she didn't act like he mattered. And by the time she understood that, he had already moved on. The strange thing about life is that it gives you people when you least expect them, and it takes them away when you take them for granted. A good man is a blessing, not because he is perfect, but because his love comes from a real place, not from ego, not from games, not from fear, but from a heart that wants connection, a heart that wants to build, a heart that wants to stay. Losing that kind of man leaves an emptiness that no loud distractions can fill. Sometimes she sits alone and wonders what he's doing now, who he's talking to, who gets to hear his deep thoughts, who gets to laugh at his jokes, who gets to feel his warmth, who gets the love she once treated lightly. These thoughts don't stop easily. They come in waves, some days strong, some days soft, but they always come. Because regret has a memory, and it follows you. And the hardest truth she finally accepts is this: he didn't walk away because she wasn't enough. He walked away because she didn't treat him like he was. And once a good man realizes his worth, he never goes back to places that made him forget it. Now the story shifts. It's no longer about her loss. It's about his rise. A good man who heals becomes a different kind of man. He becomes more grounded, more selective, more confident in his silence, more aware of his value. He stops chasing. He stops begging. He stops explaining. He starts choosing differently. He starts loving himself the way he once loved others. And that is something she never expected. She always believed he would wait. She believed he would always be available. She believed he would still be there when she decided she was ready. But he is not the same man she left behind, not anymore. He learned the truth the hard way too. That loving someone doesn't mean you let them hurt you. That giving everything doesn't mean they'll see your worth. That kindness shouldn't become a door for disrespect. That peace is more important than attachment. So he builds a life without her. He works on himself. He becomes stronger. He becomes wiser. He becomes the man he always wanted to be. And the world gives him someone new, someone who sees what he brings, someone who doesn't take his heart lightly, someone who values the small things he does, someone who listens, someone who cares, someone who treats him like a man who matters. When she sees that, if she ever does, it breaks her in a way she can't explain, because she realizes she wasn't replaced. She was released. And that is the final pain of losing a good man. Not that he left, not that he moved on, but that he became the man she always wanted for someone else. And that is what women realize too late.